What do you swear on your life to be 100% true? The good news is, the mirror is more accurate than a picture. But isn't the picture what other people see? The same way how hearing our recorded voice sounds cringy, but that's how other people hear us. We hear a deepened version of ourselves due to the sound traveling through bone rather than air. Sure, but that's their problem. To me, I look and sound good. I was drinking and throwing darts with my buddy. I was messing around and held all 3 darts by their tips, and threw them similarly to how a samurai draws a sword. Think how Sheik throws needles in SSBM, from triple the legal distance. I made 2 in the outer bullseye, and 1 in the center bullseye. There are 2 types of humans. Those with empathy and those without. They change the Reese's recipe. The chocolate is hit or miss. Sometimes it's amazing chocolatey goodness and sometimes it's all crumbly and tastes like ash. But nobody else knows what I'm talking about and Google doesn't either. Buy the holiday themed packages so they're fresher. Or maybe they're exactly a year old. Best of luck. A lot of candy companies have switched to vegetable oil instead of cocoa butter in their chocolate, and it makes a huge difference in taste, I think. The candy with the vegetable oil always tastes and feels waxy to me. I've thought they changed the recipe for Reese's for a while now too. The ingredients still show cocoa butter though, so maybe they changed something else. They're certainly not the same. That the printer will always run out of ink or that the paper will get jammed when you're all ready. Rushing and stress. Happens all the time. 100% true. 20 years in it, now I do training in tech support and I teach this to my classes. Callers will often be frustrated because technology doesn't generally fail when you're just chilling and have time to kill. It fails at 2 a.m. when you're finishing your major presentation due first thing in the morning. Be kind, be understanding, empathize. Then fix it for them. Conversely, machines can smell an person coming to fix it and will act right when we arrive. All just to save itself from being tossed in the recycler. This is infuriating and happens to me when I'm finally able to get our person to come out after literal days of my computer malfunctioning and giving me this stupid error code. This electronic whisperer walked into my office and just looks at my computer and it stops malfunctioning and keeps functioning properly till he leaves. Then it shits bricks as soon as he closes the work order and pulls out of our parking lot. Damn it. A gigantic meteor came down over a field I was driving right next to one night. I obviously didn't get video of it, but holy fuck, I wish I had. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. There are 2 really shitty videos people happen to get of the meteor about 30 to 40 miles away. But to see it that close is something I'll never forget. The makers of baby wipes intentionally wrap them in a way so when you pull one out the container, you get 2 to 3 and waste them because they are a bitch to put back in. What I do is I keep an extra empty package of wipes and put the ones that come out unintentionally in that package. It's so much easier to put them in another empty package instead of trying to cram them back in. You always run the risk of not pushing them in all the way, so then the package stays open and all of a sudden you've dried out the whole thing. This way you don't have to worry about that and you can just shove them in and close it up. It might be worth a try for you. Not being available 24/7 despite being reachable 24/7 is fine. Come tell my boss that. Please, I beg you. You can always try moving into a stucco house to limit cell reception. Every cart I pull at Walmart has at least one square tire. As someone who brings in carts, I can tell you there is a really simple explanation. Customers horribly abuse the poor carts and management is always way too cheap to bother fixing them properly. At my store, once a year they get a repair company to come in and fix the broken ones. The carts are always back to being in bad shape within the month, at most. I worked at Walmart for 2 months when I left the military as a kind of buffer job. I didn't take it seriously at all, and when the maintenance dude left for the day, I'd sneak off to the back room to fix carts until my shift was done. Probably fixed wheels on a couple hundred carts in my 2 months. Ike. It was just kind of therapeutic. The way people drive and the way they use a shopping trolley are directly linked. I swear by this, and also how they walk down the street. I'm convinced people who go sideways or stop at the middle of the sidewalk without looking around do the same when driving. I had someone stopping at the end of a full escalator looking around for solid 5 to 10 seconds the other day. Now I wonder what her driving skill is like. I slide the back wheels of my cart around corners. I don't have a car that can do that, but if I did, who's to say? If I'm having a bad day, it can always get worse. Like nuclear bomb detonating in your country and you are outside of the kill zone but in the zone where you get third-degree burns worse. Very similar. You can make things foolproof, but the world will make better fools. Reminds me of a Douglas Adams quote, a common mistake that people make when trying to design something completely foolproof is to underestimate the ingenuity of complete fools. The difficulty of designing bear-proof trash cans in a national park is that there is considerable overlap between the intelligence of the smartest of bears and the dumbest of tourists. Saw this at Yellowstone, where people would struggle to open the trash cans and debate just tossing the trash because they couldn't apostrophe T. It's just that seeing other people around them would make them reconsider and eventually someone would help out. And you can't make a sign on how to use it, because the bears will learn how to open it. I prefer the term idiot-friendly. I know someone who works in computer programming etc. and I love some of the coded insults they'll use to make fun of someone. One is the id10t error, another being pebkak, problem exists between keyboard and chair, and many more which I can't remember right now. I love it and I'm sure I've had both those errors before myself, haha. Everybody loves a picnic, problem in chair, not in computer. Busy having a few layer 8 issues recently. Sunday does not have 24 hours. Sunday is more or less ruined by 11 a.m. I feel it about 2 p.m. I announce to my husband, oh no. It's time for the Sunday blues. And Monday has about 1,000 hours. You can summon your period by wearing white pants. Or go on vacation, especially a romantic one where you want to have lots of sex. Edit. Some people don't like to have sex on their period and that's okay. I, personally, don't like sex while on my period, and I am okay with that. I literally moved my wedding up a week to avoid the period on my wedding day. Didn't matter, my period came a week early. My wife and I try to do a date weekend a month. Every fucking weekend we do it, she will get her period. We even planned 2 weekends back to back and she still got her period. There have been so many times I've thought, well, at least I won't be on my period at some event, only to immediately get my period during that event. Doesn't matter if I just finished the week prior, or I'm not due at all, it's like my body goes into sabotage mode. You and your wife have my sympathetic understanding. It is the kiss of death to change lines at the grocery store. And the shortest line is always the slowest moving. I.e., there's a reason nobody is in this line. But no one will tell you what it is. No, the slowest line is always the one you're in. I go to the same cashier every time. Don't care if she has a line and the next register is empty. She's a sweet old lady and the 3 minutes of conversation we have while I'm checking out make my shopping trip more pleasant. See, I'm the opposite. Give me the cashier that won't even make eye contact with me and gets me out the door as fast as possible. I use the self-checkout to avoid all human interaction. Except when you screw up while checking out and need a staff to override the error. That's always fun. That our phones are listening to us in order to hit us with relevant advertising. Too many times. Now I've been talking about something, or been in a situation, and an advert for it popped up an hour or so later. Not to sound like I own a tinfoil hat, but I've had plenty of instances where I merely thought of something and then soon enough an ad pops up that I've never seen before. Never spoke a word about it, never Googled it, simply thought of it. I just tell myself they're really good at narrowing down what certain demographics are looking for, but yeah, it's specific enough to creep me out. I've had this exact experience as well, more than a few times. Big data is really good at predicting behavior. Also, humans are surprisingly predictable. I went to DreamWorks Studios when I was 11 to give a presentation of my animation skills. Nobody ever believes me when I tell them that story. I swear I'm not making it up, it really happened. To keep it brief, I took an online animation course and the company that made the course liked it so much that asked me to be a model student for a business deal with DreamWorks to use their IPs in their courses. They flew me out to La for free, I got a private tour of the studio, and I even got to meet 2 animators who were working in animation tests for Trolls, which came out 3 years later. I even got to see concept art for the Captain Underpants movie, which had just started development at the time. To this day I still think this is my life's peak and it's all downhill from here. Edit. If anyone wants to see the animation, here's a link to it. Edit 2. I want to clarify that while this is the animation I made, I did not make the characters, assets, or story. The course instructors provided all of that and told me what to animate. I just made them move. However, I did add a lot of unique details and elements on my own, such as having the secondary character throughout the whole animation and having them jump into the spaceship at the end. Dude, that is an incredible animation, especially for an 11-year-old and their first one at that. Good creative concept. Good execution. I mean, the course basically gave me all the assets and stuff and told me what to animate and how to animate it. All I did was make them move. And added a few extra details and parts that they didn't instruct. Like the ending part of the characters jumping into the spaceship was entirely my own idea, as well as having the secondary character throughout the whole animation. Like, the setting, lighting, compositing, models and characters were not mine. But the movement and extra details were all me. Still deserve points for motivation. The effort is what makes it great. Many, myself included, would love to do similar but lack the drive. Me? My passion was piano, but I haven't felt the motivation to pick it up again. If your bus is late, spark up a cigarette and it will instantly arrive. I call this begging Murphy. You've got to lose one way or another, but you can offer the universe different mutually exclusive options for making that happen. If my parents were expecting company, my dad would intentionally go use the bathroom. So they would show up right then, using similar logic. And you will have to wait 2 hours for a bus, only to have 3 arrive at the same time. Rock Bottom has a strange but efficient bus schedule. John McAfee's body is still in a freezer in a Spanish morgue. Had a passenger tell me he came into their bar once. Said he had like 6 armed security dudes with him, sat at a table by himself, and paid for his drinks individually in cash so he wouldn't leave a paper trail. Some years ago I was at MegaCon in Orlando, Florida that happened to be going on at the same time as the Libertarian National Convention. McAfee was in a hotel lobby that my husband and I and a few friends were hanging out in. After creeping on some cosplayers, he came up to my husband and squeezed his bicep while asking for an onion ring. It was calamari our friends had ordered. Easily one of the most surreal experiences of my life, lol. Where'd his security people get 4 extra arms? Real life Pokemon, Securitarms. They're running a virus scan. True story, I stayed in his house in Belize on vacation. He was renting it out, about a year before the whole murder thing. I was sitting in a hammock and watched a boat pull up to the dock, and he and his young girlfriend got out and went into the small house next door. At the time I didn't really know much about how crazy he was or what, I just knew he was the antivirus company's founder, and was renting out his big house because he had hit hard times. Now I see these documentaries showing that house and I'm like, holy duck, I stood right there, drank on that porch, swam in that pool, sat in that hammock. I don't want to worry you, but there is about a 90% chance that his girlfriend shit on that hammock because John liked women to shit through hammocks when he was under them. Gotta keep him preserved so they can study how he made it to 75 while subsisting entirely on research chemicals. Alexander Shulgin took over 200 different research chemicals he discovered and synthesized in his garage, and he lived to be 88. Maybe research chemicals are the secret to living a long life? Can you imagine Alexander the Great and Saint Shulgin in the afterlife? Do you know how many cities are named after me? That's cool, take one of these so we can dance for 12 hours. Back pain can make your life a nightmare. Can confirm. Have serious back pain, life is a nightmare. I bowled a 289. Friend that went with me is notorious for making up details. No one believes me. 288 here. Luckily it was in a tourney and I have trophies to prove it. Unluckily, my friends don't give a shit. Very nice, I'm lucky to get triple figures, but in my defense my local alley has a very good bar and I spend my time there between frames. Did you take a pic of your final score? I'd be framing that if that were me, smile. My dad actually got a small plaque from the alley for the 297 game he bowled years back. Small town. Oh man, a 297 hurts so bad. 11 strikes and then a 7. Not that I'd know what that feels like. Best I've ever bowled was like a 130. I have a buddy with 0 300 games and 3 299 games, I was there for 2 of them and needless to say it's painful. My dad has 7 299 games and no 300s. I bowled a 300 at league when I was 15. But he missed it. Cracking 100 is a solid game for me. I managed a 140 once. Rookie, I bowled 3 times a 300 game, on Wii Sports. If my morning routine is disrupted, the day is gonna be bad. If you're running late you will be stuck at every possible red light. And if you're trying to take your time because your carry-out order won't be ready for another 15 minutes, you will catch every possible green light. Same thing happens when eating in the car. Just waiting for the red light to eat some food. And it will be green lights all the way down. Same thing happens if you're about to shit your pants. Yes, if you have to piss really bad, the car in front of you is notified and cannot physically go faster than 10 kilometers under the limit or it will blow up a la speed. Prince Andrew is a pedophile. Time passes quicker the older you get. Do the things right now that you want to do, don't wait for later. Your brain reuses pathways to make memories when it can. If you do the same thing every day, then it reuses them rather than forming new pathways and new memories. Reusing an existing pathway makes time feel faster, forming new ones makes it feel slower. The older you are, the more pathways you have to reuse. The more settled down you are into a routine, the more you reuse the same ones. The more weird and crazy shit you do, the longer your life feels. So go out and do new things. Live in new places, try new experiences and you'll have a longer life. Also, adrenaline makes you save memories more vividly, so scare the shit out of yourself whenever you can. So you're telling me that the brain basically creates a cache to reduce memory load. That checks out. The thinking electric meat lump is surprisingly efficient. Even 20 years ago, cognitive psychology made a lot of references to parallels between brain and computer. Cache, swap space, RAM, etc., even hyper-threading processing. Not sure if we designed computers to use something similar, or if naturally that's how things work. I think both are just a result of the nature of storing and recalling information. Convergent evolution, if you will. Early computers worked differently and also evolved to be better, just like brains did. This explains why I remember none of 2020. I lived the same week on repeat for months. And months on end. Work all day, fret and anxiety all night. Saturday, walk the dog at 11, get back, cook a chicken dinner. Stew in anxiety all Sunday. Repeat. Same. My wife got diagnosed with breast cancer basically the time the world shut down, mid-March 2020. She had to go out of town for treatment. I still had to work, so she took the kids and they all stayed with her parents in the city she was getting treated. So I was home alone for 9 months, with an occasional trip to stay with my wife and kids. Most of my 2020 was working remotely and drinking too much in the evenings and being very sad, missing my family. You ever ask someone how they are and then you can tell they're about to have a nervous breakdown because they say something like "I've been better"? That was me all of 2020. Edit. I'm genuinely struck by how much support you can get on Reddit. My wife is in full remission and back at home with the kids. 2020 was rough, but 21 and 22 have been much better. Edit 2. I am so blown away by the outpouring of support. And thanks for the gold. 2020 was rough in a lot of different ways. I imagine this was horrible. Frown. Oh my god, yes, this. When you are 5 years old, a year is 20% of your life. When you are 10 years old, a year is 10% of your life. When you are 20 years old, a year is 5% of your life. When you are 50 years old, a year is 2% of your life. Yep. Remember when you were 5 and someone tells you, "Oh, good thing is coming in 2 weeks. And those 2 weeks feel like forever. Now if someone tells me something is in 2 weeks, it's here before I even realize it. Never mind 2 weeks. There's an important birthday coming up in 2 months and I'm already worried that I'm not ready for it. If you like the video, hit that subscribe button for more content. I post every day and I'll see you next time with more stories.